The Bengal Biennale has brought art from all corners of Bengal alive. But what's really grabbed a lot of attention is perhaps the discovery of Louis Banks, the godfather of Indian jazz, also as an artist. And tell us what all this is about.
So everybody knows Louis Banks, godfather of Indian jazz. A lot of people don't know he's also an artist. So what we're seeing here are artworks made by him. When we started chatting with him around a year or two ago, we said, look, you've done art, obviously everybody knows your jazz. So we took 35 of his canvas works and 35 original jazz compositions, converted each of the artworks into layers, decided how the layers will move to the music, and you see digital output, which are basically a combination of his art and jazz, cutting edge technology, the new wave, the new digital era, and that's what you see here, a combination of the old and the new.
How does art and music combine? Perhaps the best person to tell us that is Mr. Louis Banks, the godfather of Indian jazz, but also an artist, quite a discovery. But has art always been a part of the deal?
Yeah, and for me, music is with sound, art is without sound. But they are brothers in arms, really. Absolutely, yeah.
And sir, I mean, I'd like to talk a little bit about your music before we talk about the art. Indian jazz, where do you see it going in the next sort of decade or, in the future?
Well, it's going to be global. It's already global, yeah, but it's going to be more. There'll be a lot more audiences that it will appeal to this music, and they're already feeling very excited to hear something that jazz is associated with after many decades, actually, yeah. They did not, the jazzmen before did not think that Indian music would be a part of jazz. But, well, I take responsibility of that. When I started and I saw the possibilities of Indian classical music being part of jazz, really, because it opened up a lot of avenues for improvisation.
Which Indian instrument, according to you, perhaps is best suited or gels best with jazz music?
Well, I've been using the flute and the sitar and the sarod, and all of them blend beautifully, yeah. And I've always played with the masters of these instruments, so it's been a really great pleasure how they've come together with me in the form of jazz, really.
And my last question, how does it feel to be back in Kolkata and, also, coming here as part of the Bengal Biennale?
You don't know, it's such a great pleasure, really. So nostalgic to walk around Park Street. But it's sad that Blue Fox is not there.
Yes,
yeah.
The memories.
But yeah, the memories of Blue Fox, yeah. But Park Street, amazing, yeah. And it's so lovely. I really look forward to playing at Trinkers, really.
Thank you so much, sir, for speaking to NDTV, and what a lovely discovery of Louis Banks as the artist.
Thank you very much, yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
But Louis Banks has always been top on my priority list because Love Story and Other Songs is something I'll never, ever, ever, ever forget. It's one of my biggest songs. Ladies and gentlemen, how proud are we to bring him over here and, listen to him in Trinkas. We just have to say thank you to Art Meets Jazz with Louis Banks and of course Malvika. Thank you for doing this, because where do we get an opportunity? He said 4 decades, did you say? I've done for 5.5. So I'm senior to you. Yeah. And that only goes with, only in everything else you're just way up in another planet altogether. So we're so proud to have you here. And thank you for making Trinkas. For me, it's hallowed ground, and I always say that the oldest things in Trinkas is the chandelier and myself. And today we have Mr. Louis Banks with us as well. So you add to the vintage.
So as we celebrate art meets jazz with the legend, the godfather of Indian jazz, Louis Banks, perhaps it is absolutely fitting that it's also taking place in Kolkata's iconic Park Street, where Mr. Banks has performed for years. With camera person Aniruddha Tripathi in Kolkata, Saurabh Gupta, NDTV.